phone.
Start doing it. All right, what's up, guys? It is Chris from the Watch Chris channel. Also with me, we have Rock the Watch, Matt Stingray.
What's going on?
And welcome to the first episode of Watch News Tonight Live with Rock the Watch, both of us. Oh, I am got to mute. We're going to have a lot of snags this go around because we are live, and this is the first time we're doing anything like this. So we're trying to do a little bit of a talk show, something that moves a little bit faster of a pace than a normal sort of watch conversation. We're going to have guests on. Today we have two guests, and we'll be getting to them later on. We're going to go through some news in the beginning, just going back and forth between me and Matt, and then we're going to hit up two guests. We have in the waiting room, we have Levi, who is a collector. He is on Instagram. I'll throw up all of his information when we get to him. And then we also have Half Past Blog. He has not joined the live stream yet, so hopefully he will be joining shortly, and he will be another guest on the show. I think you guys might be familiar with him. If you are not, I will obviously give you his information when we get to that as well. So very quickly, we're going to go through just some of the news that we think was important over the last few weeks. And we're going to be doing this on a semi-regular basis. I'm not sure we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis. We're probably going to be doing this on a bi-weekly or monthly basis, depending on how you guys react to it, if you guys enjoy this. So, yeah, we're just going to get right into it. So the first news sort of story that we want to talk about is Yema. This is the Yema Worn and Wound Superman Maxi Dial limited edition of 300 pieces. This is a very new watch from Yema. Obviously, it has their in-house movement, the Yema 2000. It's a little bit of a controversial watch. I've gotten a lot of feedback in videos that I've done that they have pretty bad customer service and things like that. However, they've been coming out with tons of new watches over the past few years. And they have really been trying to step up their game, making new watches. And this is kind of cool. I kind of like it. I really like the black bezel, the maxi dial. I did a whole video on all of the specs for this watch. But like I said, I've gotten a lot of feedback from people about the case finishing and things like that. But yeah, that's really it. Matt, anything that you want to add on this?
Yeah, Daniel in the comments asked how much. Is it around $1,000? About $990?
$990, yeah. So it is on the more expensive side, I think, for this watch.
You know, this is one of the Yema as a brand in a whole. I know they've been pushing hard. It's a revived French brand, correct?
Yes,
but not made in France so much, I don't think. But anyway, it's I don't know. I they're one of those watch brands, kind of like another one we're going to talk about today. I just can't connect with. I don't know why. It looks like it's a good looking watch. I'm not feeling that whole, and I'm pointing at a picture, but nobody can see. I'm feeling the whole crown thing. Don't you have to loosen that crown that locks it down?
Levi, who I believe commented on my video that I did on this, said that he would be down with this watch if it wasn't for this crown protector. I believe it was him. I don't remember 100%, but it's something that's a little controversial. I guess people either hate it or love it. Yeah, and you got to unlock it, and then you're able to turn the bezel. I think it's unidirectional anyway. They said there's really good lume on here, and this is Worn and Wound. Again, Worn and Wound have been doing some really some pretty cool watches. They did a really cool watch with Christopher Ward and
Hodinkee.
What's that?
I said trying to battle with Hodinkee.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they definitely are. You know, they're trying to do their thing, and I don't blame them. So
listen, with the sketchy reports you get about reliability with this movement, and you know, we talked about some of the brushing on this thing is supposedly not that great. Now, that being said, let me preface this with, I have never had one of these in my hand. So I like to not give a complete opinion, you know, take it with a grain of salt, because all I got is pictures, but sometimes you can get a good idea of a product, in this case, a watch, by the reports of the customers. And if they get reports that their customer service is not great, The movement is having some issues, and the brushing, frankly, could be better. I think that's the biggest ones that they get hit on. So
Yeah.
that's this one's going to be a no for me. But
Right. Yeah, and it was Levi who actually said that. I
yeah.
think he just mentioned that. I'm not sure if you could remove it, like pull out the crown from the movement. I don't know if you could do that. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's definitely something that is controversial. It's a pretty decent looking watch, like I said, but it all depends on your point of view from these watches. But moving on, let's move on to the next news video here, or news watch that we're going to talk about, and that is the Longines Silver Arrow. So let me get a photo of it here. Oh, zooming in, zooming out. I don't know. I can't get it to work, but
Can't get it to do what it wants.
I knew we would have some problems here.
Looks like
There
it's
we go.
all night. No.
Yeah, right. Sorry, guys. There it is. So this is the Longines Silver Arrow. So this is a new watch that Longines just recently came out with. Literally, I think it was this week they came out with it, and it's basically a re-edition of a past watch that they did, which sort of is inspired by aerospace. It's a really good-looking watch. It has really cool applied indices on it. As you can see here, it just says Silver Arrow on the dial. This is a 38.5 millimeter watch, automatic L888 movement, which is sort of like their it's based on an ETA movement, but it's sort of their version of like their own bespoke version of a 2892. So it's a little bit higher end version of the ETA 2892. Obviously, Longines owned by ETA, so they're making these a little bit specialer for their in-house brands. So technically an in-house movement for one of their own in-house brands. But the reason why I thought this watch is important, and it's actually a watch I haven't done a video on, the reason why I think it's important, number one, Longines have been making some killer watches over the past few years. They've been doing some really great reissues, especially in their dive watch category, that skin diver, and their bi-compax divers and stuff like that, or their bi-crowns, whatever you want to call it, compressor diver. But they've also been making pretty large watches. So I'm glad to see that they came out with this in 38.5 millimeters. Now, I could go either way. I like a 42 millimeter watch. I like a 44 millimeter watch, but I like that they're doing some more faithful reissues. So I think this is a good looking watch. I think that I think they really did a good job on this. And like I said, it's inspired by aerospace. So pretty cool. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's good looking watch. It's not my style. But for how much is? Do you happen to know how much this one's
$2,100. So
$2,100. Okay.
Yeah, it's still you get into that. It's not cheap territory, but
right.
Yeah, I think it's a really good looking watch. I'm always on the fence with a brand like Longines because they are pretty expensive, and they're actually not like their highest end brand from the ETA group. But is it better than a Hamilton? Is it better than a Tissot? Is it better than Certina? I guess so, but is it $1,000 better? I don't know.
This would definitely be one. Oh, look at that. Bobby Legs gave up $5. What's going on, Bobby? Thanks, man. Yeah, this would definitely be one I would wait for it to hit the gray market and pick it up for half that price, honestly. And then I think I would guess you could probably get this one for $1,200-$1,300.
On the secondary market.
Yeah,
gray market. Yeah. Definitely something that you can get for.
Yeah, and then at that point, at that price, I think it's a great watch. I wouldn't, if I was in the market for a dress watch, I would definitely look at something like that. Yeah,
definitely. No. All right. So next we got Oris, and this is the Oris Whale Shark. I absolutely love this dial. But this is in a limited edition, another limited edition, and also a very expensive watch. This is in the $3,000 range, a little bit more than that, I believe. Limited edition of 2016 watches. And they're doing this to bring sort of a light or shed light onto the fact that whale sharks are endangered, which is really nice. But at the same time, they're not giving any of the proceeds to whale sharks. So you got to keep that in mind. Yeah. Something I didn't actually mention in the video that I did, because I try and keep any news videos that I do a little bit unbiased. I don't want to really get into, but there you have it. Good looking watch. I really love the dial. I think we've spoken about this watch already. What do you think?
So this is another one like the Yema. Look, I never reviewed an Oris, so I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but I have gone into ADs. I've put them on, I've tried them on, I've held them. They're great looking watches, but there's just something about them. I just can't connect with them. I just, if it was between a Tag Heuer and this one, I'd pick the Tag. I don't know why. When I was in the store looking at them, I'm like, okay, they're good looking watches, but it wasn't something that I said, ooh, I have to have that.
Right.
It's just that I've not seen any offerings, not saying that they're not great watches. I just haven't seen anything from that brand that I connect with. I just would like to, but no. But that being said, the dial is beautiful. That's a beautiful looking dial, but I wouldn't buy it. I just,
Bobby Legs, thank you for the $5 super chat. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I have never actually connected with. A lot of people call this a Rolex Submariner alternative. I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't know if I completely believe that, but they are expensive though. In the past, maybe they were. Now with Rolex being so expensive, if you want to buy a Submariner, you have to spend over $10,000. Maybe this is a very good alternative, because if you were able to get a Submariner for $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000 a few years ago, that made more sense just to hold out and get the Submariner if you really that's what you wanted. But this is maybe they are well made watches. They're really good. They're really nice. It does get an ETA movement. It's 43.5 millimeters. So these are all things that factor in, but you get sapphire, of course, but you get a ceramic bezel. It competes.
Yeah. I don't know if I completely agree with that statement about the being a Rolex Submariner alternative. I would probably say for the price this costs, you could get Breitling, you could get Tudor, there's a ton of watches, great watches out there in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. You could get Omegas, you could get I would go. There's probably, not even lying, there's probably a dozen watches in that price range that I would choose before I would go for this one. It just
Yep. No, I get it. Yep. Half Past Blog. Very good point. I see your point, and I think a lot of people go for that. The alternative, and you really, it's tough. I mean,
but let me ask you that. Were you talking about the alternative to a Rolex?
Yeah, like the alternative, like a watch that I always say is a good alternative to the Speedmaster is the Bulova Lunar Pilot. Mm-hmm. It technically is a really good.
That just,
yeah. Anyway, all right, moving on. Last but not least, a very good little segue into Tag Heuer. Oh, actually, you had some news, but we'll do this one, then we'll go through some of the things that I completely forgot. See, I knew we were going to mess it. I was going to mess up something.
What's that?
Tag Heuer and Hodinkee. Now, your favorite brand, Tag Heuer, teaming up with your other favorite brand, Hodinkee.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So, what do you think?
So I like Tag Heuer. I don't know if I'd say they're my favorite, but I cut them some slack. No, I do like Tag Heuer, but and Hodinkee. Look, I got to give respect for what Hodinkee does, but I'm wondering if this is going to be like an Aqua Racer that you could buy for $1,500, and then they do some Hodinkee stuff to it. They change the color of the hand to one blue second hand, and they go, look, it's Hodinkee model, $5,900. you know. So
Yeah.
but I will wait to pass judgment on it. But I can almost guarantee you it will be seriously overpriced.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is almost the given. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm not going to say that I exclude myself. I do like the limited editions. Some of the limited editions that come out from Hodinkee, I think they're very expensive. Some of them are not that great. I've bought a few more of their inexpensive collaborations.
Yeah.
But the Tag Heuer Skipper that they came out with a little while ago with Hodinkee, I thought that was a really cool watch. If they make this a good price, it would probably be attractive because they are really into Heuer. They're not into Tag Heuer.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go with something that's a little bit more of a classic Heuer. And I like classic Heuer. I think Heuer's awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See that brings up a good point with the Heuer. I think a Monaco looks cool. I think it looks cool, but it's one of those watches I wouldn't buy it because I know I wouldn't wear it because one, it's on a leather strap, and two, it's square. It's weird. That's one of those watches that I think freaking looks cool, especially in the Gulf racing colors. Oh man, that thing looks cool.
Yeah.
But I know I wouldn't wear it. I just know I wouldn't wear it. So I wouldn't buy it. So hopefully this thing comes out, maybe it's not like that Bamford one that we talked about a while back.
Yeah.
We'll see. I got my fingers crossed.
Yep. So this one is actually dropping on February 23rd. So Tuesday, if you are interested in this and checking it out, you could just check out the Hodinkee website on Tuesday, or literally look at your phone. If you have any watch sort of notifications, or you visit any, they'll bombard you with it. I always get bombarded when there is a release from Hodinkee. That's only because I've actually purchased from them before, so I immediately get bombarded with things like that. So next, did you want to go through some news on your end there?
We could talk about some watch drama. Oh, but first, before we do that, let's do a quick wristwatch check.
Yes.
What are you rocking tonight?
I am wearing the Christopher Ward C65 chronograph.
Very nice. Very nice.
So this was just sent to me for review from Christopher Ward, and I opened up the box. I put it on. I haven't taken it off. It is a cool ass watch, and it's I think it's like $1,900.
Wow!
But I mean, it's really cool. I really like it. Yeah,
that's cool. I haven't taken it off yet. I haven't. I can't take it off, man. Two-tone bluesy.
I don't blame you.
Can't take it off. But I'm also pulling a Schwarzkopf tonight, and I got two, and I'm with the Milgauss, baby. So I got
double wristed Rolexes.
The double Rolexes, the Milgauss, and
you're flexing on us now.
What flex?
You're flexing.
What are you guys in the comments? What are you guys rocking?
Yeah, what are you guys wearing in the comments? I'm gonna highlight some comments here.
Ken's got a Zelos Mako 3. Very nice. I recently reviewed Chris's. That's a great watch.
Yes.
Islander Field Watch. That's a good one too.
Oh, that's new. I wanna check those out. I haven't seen those yet. Sarb 033. Nice.
Blue Oris Aquas.
Oh, nice. All right.
Rolex Air King. There you go.
Nice. Nice.
Good deal. So, yeah, if you guys aren't in on the watch drama, so now I got this from, go check out, I can't take credit for this, obviously. This stuff's on some of the bigger channels like Austin Daniels, and who's that British dude? I had his name on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember.
Men's Watch Club, or
he used to be a Rolex AD. Anyway, there's about 3 channels. Mark watches.
Paul
Thorpe. Paul Thorpe. Thank you. Go check out their channels. You want the whole story, but basically, there's some watch drama involving Rolex AD out of Chicago, walking the watches out the back door to gray market dealers or people paying cash for them to kind of circumvent the AD. And they're reports that they're leaving the AD with stickers still attached, cards not filled out, which is a big no-no for Rolex. So apparently what happened was this store, who will remain nameless, in Chicago, you can find, they dropped the, it's a civil suit dropped in Chicago, and you can, I think it's like a 52 page affidavit. You can look the whole thing up online. It has all the details. Apparently 3 employees from this store filed suit. I guess 2 years ago, this store hired a manager who then brought in a Chinese national, and they had some kind of scheme where she was getting watches over to Hong Kong and China for cash. And I mean, we've heard reports about this stuff before. So this, to me, kind of confirms it. Now, we'll see what happens in court, but this is some shady stuff.
Yeah.
Some shady stuff.
I'm not surprised, though.
No, I'm not surprised. And I can see why. It's because you're going to sell a Submariner in that store now to your good customers that you've built a relationship with for $9,200, when a brand new one goes for double that. Of course, you're going to try to walk it out the door. I've heard about stuff like this. I've heard about ADs having friends that will come in, buy the watch, and immediately flip it and put it on Chrono 24 or something like that, and then split the profit with the AD. So, I mean, when they get greedy, it's just there's just far too much profit to be made on the gray market with these pieces, especially brand new.
Yeah. It's people getting greedy, and I think that's been happening. Probably, I'm glad someone's getting caught for it, but I would imagine there's so many people doing this, so many ADs doing this, probably to some degree. They're probably all different varying degrees of people sort of cheating the system within the system. You know what I mean? And then some of them are getting caught, and some of them aren't. So that's it.
So that's one of the other thing is, I don't know if it's happened yet, but it's happening real soon. Brexit is happening. So England is leaving the EU. So what's that do for the guys from the UK on that side of the pond? They might have to start paying, I don't think duty-free shops will be anymore. They might have to paying VAT on those. What's the trade going to look like? That can affect the watch market for them over there, unfortunately, negatively. Or maybe it'll be good. Maybe that way it'll keep a lot of the watches inside the UK, and UK customers can now have a chance to get some of those.
Yeah, I think it's going to affect it negatively for the UK for a little while, until they get some trade deals in place with, even the US. Even for brands like Christopher Ward, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for them to operate globally once this happens, especially within Europe, and then trading with the United States. I had a problem getting this watch. They wanted like a whole bunch of my information, and I was like, I can't give you my information. I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I'm a guy who, yes, I have a watch channel, but it's not a business. I don't have a tax ID. I don't make any money doing this. So, they wanted my social security number and all this other information. And I was just like, no, it's not going to happen there. And I was like, why is this happening? They're like, for some reason right now, there's no trade deal with the United States. This is what they told me. I don't know if this is the case, but there's no deal right now, or something is paused in the deal, and they're having problems sending things that are valued over $1,000 to the United States. So right now, Christopher Ward are having a big problem sending watches to the United States. I don't know if anybody else has had this problem with Christopher Ward, but
I think they have. Heard, that reviewer had this problem.
Yeah, I've heard other reviewers, but I don't know. I mean, I've never had anybody call me up and ask me, because I've bought watches from overseas, and no one's ever called me up and said, and I've bought more expensive watches, than $1,000. And I've never heard them say to me, "Oh, we need your social security number." They've never called me up and asked me for that.
Maybe it's a way. I wonder if people have bought if you buy a Christopher Ward, they don't ask you for that stuff. I can imagine they'd ask you for that information. Buy one. Maybe it's a way for them to get out of like paying duty taxes or shipping or something, because they're saying it is a review of the product by a business. Maybe that's why they're doing that. I don't know.
I don't know. Very strange. All right. So, anything else? Do you have another?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So what we'll do is we will bring in Alton from Half Past Blog. If you guys aren't familiar with Alton, he is on Instagram. He is on YouTube. And let me see if I have his. I do. He is on Instagram and YouTube. So check him out there. He definitely has a very interesting channel. Lots of different watches. He's smaller on YouTube. He has a pretty good following over on Instagram. He posts very, very regular, very cool watches. Let me bring him in right now. And there we go. And
hey
you
guys,
are
how's it
located
going?
in Canada, of course, right?
What's up?
Yeah.
Over
How's it
in
going?
Canada.
How are my volumes? I have no idea what my volumes are like.
Perfect.
Sound good to me.
Right on, right on. Great to see you
Guys,
guys.
tell us in the comments if it. So, welcome to the live show that we are doing. So, I've already explained we're trying to do somewhat of a little bit of a talk show, I guess. Something that moves a little bit more faster paced than the normal, everyday watch sort of conversation that people are having. And I was actually kind of inspired by you, Alton, because you have your own little trio of guys, you, Shane, and Dave.
Yep.
You do that game show. It's sort of like a watch-based game show. Guys, like I said, check out Half Past Blog, of course. He does a really fun, and are you doing it this Sunday?
Shane's traveling, so I believe we're doing it next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah, Shane from Relative Time and Dave from Just the Watch. And it was kind of Dave's brainchild to do a watch-based game show, which is something I've never seen before. I don't know if you guys have. And there's a steep learning curve to it, but we're figuring it out, and it's been a lot of fun. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch, and it's fun, and you guys go through your collections, and you're sort of so there's a lot of watch to it. So if you're interested in watches, watch it. You get to see some collections. You get to talk about, they're talking about watches. It's fun. So, and like I said, I was kind of inspired by that because it was a little bit more interesting than your normal. Just, is an homage good? I don't know. Is it good? I don't know if it's good. Is it good?
Yeah, I love this idea. I love this talk show idea. Why not?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I figured I'd try something different. And we, me and Matt, we've been on live streams, pretty regularly with different people on them, but it's always been me and him. So we're going to try and carry this on and do something a little bit different. Yeah. And this was the idea that we came up with. But so I have 10 questions. Okay. So I've already spoken to you a little bit about what we're going to do here. But I figured we'll go through the 10 questions. We'll answer those questions. And then we could talk a little bit about the answers. We could talk a little bit anything that we want. But just to keep the pace going, I'm going to ask you some questions. So
right on.
What was, let me get the questions up on the, see, I have to get better at this, but what was your first watch?
Now, we're talking ever, like when I was a kid, right?
Ever.
Okay. So my first watch, I don't remember, but it was probably a Casio. And I remember when I was a kid, maybe 8, 9, 10, I would grab the Consumers Distributing catalog. Did you guys get that in the States?
No.
Okay.
Ours was probably Sears catalog.
Yeah, that was a big thing, especially the wish book at Christmas. The Sears wish book, I would circle all the watches I wanted. I'd rank them and I'd say to my parents, here you go. And I remember we had this place called Consumers Distributing, and they had this warehouse in the back, and you filled out a form with the things you wanted. You handed them the form at the cashier. You stood in line kind of like at KFC, and they went to the back, got your stuff, and brought it out to you. So
yeah, I remember we had something like that. I forget what it was called. It was something. It was like a catalog, and you wrote down. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So I would.
Had things in the showcase.
I'm pretty sure I had an F91W or one very close to it. So I bought my 11-year-old one when he was 10. And so, yeah, Casio digital watches definitely as a kid was a big thing.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the watch that got you into watches?
Okay, I've got it here. It was about 3 years ago. I've never been into the Apple Watches or anything like that, just for whatever reason, just never got into it. And I was sick of pulling out my phone all the time. So I thought, I'm going to get a watch. And so I went on YouTube and I Googled cheap watches. And this one here came across my screen. It's a Timex Weekender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still ticking. So I bought this, I remember, in September. And by November, I bought my first automatic watch, which was this Orient Defender. Nice. So from there, it was just kind of a slippery slope. I kind of some days wish I hadn't spent $30 on that Weekender.
Right. Yeah, it's that first watch, man, that just gets you.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Gateway drug.
That's yes, it is. It really kind of like food. We were talking about food before the live stream, me and Matt, and it's like, it's addictive, man. Who is your celebrity crush? Now, this is celebrity, any celebrity. It's not doesn't have to be a watch-related celebrity. It could be anybody. Hollywood. Doesn't matter.
You said you'd ask me that question, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I don't know. I should know, but I don't know. I could tell you. Maybe if I was a preteen, I would say I would liked watching Who's the Boss and Alyssa Milano. Ooh. Back then.
Oh, yeah.
I know Scarlett Johansson was on that list at some point, but I don't even know if she's still alive. So, I'm going to have to ask my wife, honey, what's my hall pass? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think hers is Chris Hemsworth, so.
Yeah, so was my wife's. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know who my wife says. It probably is Chris
Hemsworth. That's
probably. Yeah, that's the. Back to watches. What is your Grail watch?
All right, I'm going to give you two because the first one is really pedestrian, like embarrassingly pedestrian. It's a Rolex Explorer. I mean, it's just a great classic everyday watch, and I'm not a man of means, so I'm not sure that's in my near future, unless I keep trading up. Who knows? But I really, really like, to give you something a little less pedestrian, the Zenith Pilot Type 20, especially the chronograph.
Yes.
I don't know. It's big. I think it's 45 millimeters. I have an 8-inch wrist. I can pull it off. I love the font used for the numbers. It's just bold in your face. So there you go.
Awesome watch. They actually just came out. They came out with a smaller version of it.
Oh, did they? What size?
I think it's 42 millimeters now.
Oh, that'd be perfect. I'm trending towards. I don't know about you guys. I'm liking smaller watches these days.
Yes. Yeah. I used to be really into big watches. Like before, I guess it was like probably around 10 years ago, I was really into bigger watches. Like if a watch was 44 millimeters or above, I was okay with it. If it was below 44 millimeters, I was like, Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Matt? I know you have some bigger watches but they're all below 44 millimeters.
Yeah. I don't think I own a 40. I think 43 is the biggest I own. Now I'm trying to think about it. That Alpina might be 44, but it's got a weird case, like these bolsters on the side of the case that kind of push it out. But yeah, 43. I think my Aqua Racer is a 43. My Breitling Avenger is a 43. So I try to keep it. Honestly, I try to keep it between 40 and 43, especially for dive watches. Now, some of them wear a little different. Like I have Seiko Sarb 017, the Alpinist. It's 39. That fits. That's a great watch. So, but I don't like to go below 39.
Yeah, me either. But I've been looking at the Baltic Aquascoff or Aquascape or however you say it.
Oh yes,
I think it's
the GMT or the.
I'm not sure the GMT is worth the premium.
That's a lot.
I do really like it, but I just don't know if it's not a true GMT mechanical wise, and I don't know. You know how it is. Watch collectors are always going back and forth, pros and cons. And I'll say I'm going to buy the Baltic GMT, and then on the spur of a moment, I'll buy something completely different.
I'm laughing because Chris is like that right now. He's in a watch struggle. He's like, I'm going to buy myself a watch. And it was this one. Then it's like, I don't know yet.
I go through, it's like, and I know it's like the most. I can't. I don't even want to say it. Like it's like the most insignificant problem to. It's like the most ridiculous problem to have. But
100%
I'm embarrassed by it. But I mean, like, yeah, I go back and forth, and I'm like, one day I'm like, it's this. I have to have it, and then next day I'm like, well, there's also this watch, and like
I know, right? Yeah.
It's a little bit, and whatever it is, but I go back and forth. But what? Oh, so sorry. You said you had a second Grail watch.
Well, the Explorer and then the Zenith. Yeah.
Oh, the Zenith. You said the Zenith. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Awesome.
What
is your current favorite watch in your collection?
I have two because I just bought an Alpina Star Timer 40 millimeters, and I just love how clean and crisp it is. Hold on, I got it here. Boom. Got to keep your watches close, guys.
That's
right.
I love this thing. It wears so well. It's so crisp and clean.
Yeah.
It's hard to see on camera. Hugs the wrist, 40 millimeters. I threw it on a $20 red strap, and I just love it. The other one I'm tied with is this one here, the Belova A15.
Oh, I love that one.
Which, you helped me purchase. So
not
financially, but guidance-wise.
Right. I love that watch. I think that's just it feels a lot more expensive than it actually is.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really
not a cheap
does.
watch. It's just, I think that they've put a lot of, I don't know.
It's $350, I think, on Joma Shop. So you can get guys, seriously, check this out for $350. You're getting a really, really cool watch with a lot of character.
Yeah, and pretty cool history actually. It was like I forget. Was it actually made? Did they actually make that watch into production, or was it
World War II? They made 500 of them as test subjects. Gave them out to different militaries or pilots and in different militaries, and it just never made it. I'm guessing it was probably a little too expensive. There's too many complications with the inner rotating bezel and
it's two inner rotating bezels, right?
There's two of them. Yeah. Three crowns.
Yeah, it's just cool. It looks like it's a chronograph. It's not. It's just a cool watch.
There's just something about it. It's got a lot of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the next question: what is your least favorite watch? It doesn't have to be in your collection.
I usually try to keep it pretty positive.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say that there are some brands that I kind of don't pay much attention to. Of course, Invicta is a good whipping boy for most people.
Yes.
Except for, I would really like to pick up one of those 1953s. They look really, really cool for the price.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people would.
The MSRP price, not the eBay price.
Yeah.
And
which is crazy when you think about it. They're actually, I don't know what goes on with watches. It's like, I don't know. When I started collecting, everything sold below list price. Everything except for the Rolex Daytona.
Yeah.
Everything. It didn't matter. And even then, Rolex Daytona still sold below still sold, like you could buy it for list price or maybe a little bit above the list price. Now everything is just like, it's crazy. They come out with the Q Timex. It was selling for triple the amount of money.
Yeah.
That thing is not worth $300.
I don't get it.
And I had one and I liked it and I traded it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was worth what it was asked. And if you bought it for $300, I feel bad for you.
Yeah. I think that it's a little crazy. A very good example of that is I bought that Hodinkee special edition with Merci, that field watch. Someone bought it and they were restocking it. I didn't buy it the first time around. The second time around, they were restocking it. And they even said on the website they're going to restock it, but it said sold out. And if you didn't read below it and see that they were going to be restocking in X amount of weeks or whatever it was, the people were putting them on. They were sold. They were $500. It's a $500 watch on eBay for $50. And I felt like emailing them and be like, guy, this is going to be, if I could wait 2 weeks, I could get it for $500. Why would I buy it from you for $3,000 because I can't wait 2 weeks? It's crazy.
I'll tell you, I'll tell you a different answer. My least favorite watch brand. I'm not going to name the name, but here's the story. It's Christmas time, and I'm a pastor in a church, and we do a lot of outreach and stuff at Christmas, supporting families. And this year was a big year because of COVID. People are really struggling. And there's this woman who went through, and she lives kind of in an impoverished area, small town, and she went to school, and she couldn't get a job in her field, so she wanted to become a vet assistant. She knew there was jobs in that area. So she's got some kids with special needs she's looking after. She's a single mom. She's doing her thing. And the church went and bought her some coats and clothes for the kids and did, some great stuff. But when they got to the register, they ran out of money and by $30, and they put this watch that they had wanted to buy back. And it was a watch that she wanted so that when she went to school for this vet tech thing, she could time the take pulses and that kind of stuff. It was something required. So they told me about this. And I said, well, you came to the right guy. So I contacted a small micro brand in Canada, and I said, hey, to you guys, this is the story. It's a great cause. I'll make a short little video. Do you want to donate one of your watches? And they said, we'll get back to you. 3 days go by, I don't hear anything. So at this point, I started reaching out other contacts. I'm like, heck, I'll just buy one for her from my own pocket. I don't care. And they get back to me finally. They said, listen, we don't have a lot of watches left in stock to give out, so we're not going to be able to help you out. But if you want, we'll give you 20% off if you want to buy one. And I was like, I don't think you understand the spirit of this. So anyway, my buddy Jason at my wrist check in Orangeville, an hour and a half from me, he donated a really nice Timex, which will do her very well.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's a great story. I mean, not a great story that they didn't actually kind of crappy of them, but
I mean, they don't have to, but it was offering me the 20% off. That's what really
that's like a kick.
Yeah.
Right. That's not so great. And I asked you some of these questions prior to us, like obviously going live and everything. I like earlier today, and one of the reasons is because I know that you're a pastor, and I wanted to make sure if I asked the celebrity crush, I didn't know if you would be okay with that. And then,
okay, that makes sense.
I didn't realize, but I also have this question. So you don't even need to answer this. It's
one night with your celebrity crush or one night with your Grail watch. Do you get to keep the Grail watch?
So you get your Grail watch or one night with your celebrity crush. I got to be honest with you, and I'm going to answer this question right off the bat.
Yeah.
I'm going for my Grail watch.
I want the watch.
I'm going for the Grail watch too. I hate to say it.
No
Maybe if I was 25 still.
Let that influence your answer.
No. I'm glad you said it because that was my answer. Dude, I'm going to be 45 this year. One night with my crush, that's a good 45 minutes if I eat an energy bar beforehand. So.
Wow. You're a stud. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's more like 15 minutes and then like 10 minutes of breathing heavy afterwards. But that's about it. And then, that watch I would enjoy for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
So that's how I feel about it. Yes, and I'm sorry I even asked it, but it was just a little bit of a. I'm trying to lighten the mood. I don't want to only talk about watches, but it's all in there.
Dude, I
think this is a really good
very
question.
Relaxed for a pastor. Don't worry about that. I'm just a normal person.
I know. And Dave's a pastor too, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Just the Watch.
So is Josh.
So
there's a lot of
eventually
us
I want to obviously get him on. So we'll see. But I'm going to have to ask him the same questions. I'm going to run them past before.
And we're going to need to have you guys on our game show. So the idea is that after the three of us go over our collections, we'll start bringing in a guest each time.
Oh, okay.
We're kind of doing this as a warm-up. Yeah.
And you went through your collection and Shane's collection so far, right?
Yeah. So Dave's up next week.
Dave's next week.
Yeah.
So it's on Sundays. I forget what time on Sundays.
Yeah, that's because we keep changing it. So put TBD behind that request.
Okay. All right. I just figure, I again, like a talk show, I want to plug throughout. So
yeah.
definitely remember.
Yeah. Can we throw to the trailer?
Yeah.
Yes, wow, if I had a trailer, that'd be so cool.
That actually
Right.
would be a great idea. I'll
'Cause you-
next time I come on, I'll do that.
Yes,
I'll make
because
a trailer.
Dave made a trailer, and it was on his. That's how
Yeah.
I found out about it. Obviously, it's probably
Yeah.
something I should have done for this, but I didn't. Anyway, what watch would you give an enemy?
What watch would I give an enemy? Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I'd give them something with a really, really expensive, complicated movement that's about 30 years old. And it's never been serviced.
Right.
And it was left with the crown open that whole time. You know, some vintage store. And tell them it's extremely emotionally valuable to me, as lost sentimental value. And,
Right.
you know, I hope you enjoy this.
Very good. I like.
Hey, let me tell you a quick story if you got the time, and even if you don't. A couple Thanksgivings ago, my friend was cleaning out his closet because he got divorced and he had all this crap, and so he found this really ugly cornucopia. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the Thanksgiving thing, right? Cornucopia. It's like plaster, really terrible, but it had all the fruits of the spirit on it. It's like a Bible thing, and it was just really tacky and terrible. So we go to my mother-in-law's for Thanksgiving, and I bring it, and I say, listen, this is like a really important family heirloom, and it means a lot. And my parents have moved out of province, and so I haven't seen them, and they're not going to be here. I'd be honored if we could put this at the center of your Thanksgiving table. Now, my mother-in-law is really, really into the appearance of it all, and everything has to be perfect. And here she's got this really tacky thing in there, and everyone else is in on it but her. So my brother-in-law starts making quips like, "Oh, that's really tacky, May. Why would you allow that?" And everyone starts getting in on it. She's like defending it. No, this is really important. It means a lot to him. And I started to really sweat because I realized I'm going to have to tell her. And she's been defending it all night. So finally, at the end of the I got to come clean. This cornucopia was just found in a basement. It means absolutely nothing. I was just pranking you. And she turned 3 shades of red. And she's descended from Vikings, so she's a dangerous woman. She grabbed it and threw it across the room.
Oh my gosh.
I said, "I'm really sorry." She said, "It's okay." Now, later, as we were saying goodbye, I went to give her a hug, and we were alone. And she grabbed me by the collar. She said, "If you ever fucking do that to me again." So there you go. Sentimental value. I would wish something really expensive to fix on my enemy.
Got it.
That's a good one.
All right. Next one. Again, another.
Oh, okay.
Hublot,
Gee.
Movement, or Movado? Which one
All
would
right.
you marry? Both or F, whatever you want to say.
Yeah. That's a good one. Now, like, I feel like Hublot would be... You wouldn't want to marry Hublot because, I mean, that's going to be an expensive lifestyle that you've got to live and maintain for Hublot. MV that's movement, right? MVNT should be MT.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible. So.
Yeah, it's all good. I was just making sure it wasn't like, you know so much more about watches than I do, so I figured it could be an obscure brand that I don't know about. I would kill movement.
Good choice.
I would, I don't know. I just think Movado might be dirty. I'd F Movado, and I guess I'd have to marry Hublot because that's all I got left. and
Be
my
hope that there's a rich father-in-law in the picture to support the lifestyle.
Right. That's awesome. I asked my wife this question, and she's like, "Well, obviously you marry the Hublot. It's the most expensive one." I'm like, "Well."
That's from her perspective,
right?
What are you talking about? Come on!
I know. Let's be careful. Me too, guys. Me too. Okay.
And the last one. This is just for the hell of it. What car do you drive? Everybody who's into watches is somewhat into cars, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, that's knives and cars. We're all into those things.
Yes.
I drive an F-150 EcoBoost 2017, and I It's my third one. I buy it to pull the trailer, pull the
Nice.
camper. But I will be trading it in when I can on a 4x4 Bronco with the Sasquatch package, 35-inch tires, whenever it seems feasible.
The new Bronco.
Yeah, the new Bronco.
I've only
pretty
seen
sweet.
the Bronco Sport on the road so far.
Yeah, it's the
It's
wife's
small.
car.
It's
That's
small.
what you give to your Hublot wife. Now, she's in a Range Rover. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, the Hublot is a Range Rover car. I think you
100%.
get a Hublot with every Range Rover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm up in the country, so we have lots of places to go off road and go camping and hiking and stuff. So that suits the family need too.
nice, very good. Okay, so
Right on.
awesome. So no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in the second guest that we have on. I'm going to keep Alton. You stay on and
All right.
join in on the fun, obviously, and we're going to pull in Levi. Levi is a really cool dude. He is he's on Instagram. He does not have a YouTube channel, but he is a dive watch guy. Literally, and this is his Instagram, guys, right here. Dinner Workingsley. I don't know if I say that right. I think I do. Dive watch guy. If it doesn't have a ratcheting bezel, he doesn't want it. And that's the type of guy he is. And I'm kind of like that. I do stray off the beaten path when it comes to dive watches, but dive watch is my thing. I love him. And he is a big fan. So here he is, Levi.
Hey
He's
guys,
also up.
What's
Hey.
up?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, cool, yeah, you nailed it, buddy. If it doesn't have a clicky bezel, I'm not for it. I'm kind of a one-trick pony.
Yeah. So, welcome to the show, and so you are the way that we know you, both me and Matt, is obviously through our channels. You whenever I post a video about a dive watch, I get you definitely add a comment. If it's not a dive watch, usually you add a comment saying I don't like this watch because it's not a dive watch. So,
Right.
but thank you for and also, how many watches do you have in your collection?
Whew, man, post pandemic or
As of today.
I'm currently sitting at about 46 divers.
46 divers.
Yeah, divers, and then I got a couple of G-Shocks, that 9.4 from Matt, a couple of older watches. So I got probably like 5 or 6 that are not divers.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're around 50 something watches. That's
Yeah. It's
and
kind of fluid, but
and you run the gamut, right? You have micro brands, but you also have some major brands as well. You have some
I've got some heavy hitters, and then my comfort zones that I'd say like 3 to 750 micro brand range.
Yeah,
that's kind of my jelly these days.
Right.
That's
Who's on your shirt there? Who's that on your shirt?
Oh, that's Brittany, baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah. She's free now, so
Yeah.
celebrating her newfound freedom.
Nice. So we're going to go through the same 10 questions, and this is just my way of getting to know you and getting the audience to know you. And like I said, just go ahead, plug your Instagram before we get on, and then so go over and follow these guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, Half Past Blog and Levi Dinner Workingsley.
Yeah,
right?
at Dinner Workingsley. Dinner, I guess it's dinner underscore. I don't know if it puts the underscore automatically if you put the space. But that's what it is.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It's a bunch of dive watch pictures. It turned
Bunch
into
of dive watch pictures. I follow you, obviously. So really cool pictures of macro shots of your watches and really close up pictures, and they you do them justice. So it's really good.
Thanks, sir. It's just for fun.
Yes. So first question: what was your first watch?
Oh man, my very first one. I don't know the brand, but I can tell you exactly what it was. It was it had a blue Velcro band and then a yellow and red small display. It was Anna Digi. So, like teaching kids how to read a clock. About 1985. Yeah, 1985 was my first one. I want to say it was a Swatch, but I probably wasn't.
Okay.
But yeah, I rocked that thing for, oh man, all through kindergarten, first grade.
So
Yeah,
we're going way back.
as long as I could have wore it. I never learned. I'd still always look at the digital part.
Okay. Next question. What is the watch that got you into watches?
Man, I don't know. I'd have to say that really got me sparked was probably a 62 Moss. When I was a kid, probably around 1988 or so. My dad was a big Seiko guy. Like he had every Seiko you could imagine. If it was worth having, he had it, and probably a couple of them. I remember he had several 62 Mosses and Willards. He's still got them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Probably the 62 Moss, just the look of it, the indices, just that. And this was, like 1988, so it was still pretty timeless then. I mean, it was still a beauty at the time. Well, still beautiful now, but
yeah,
the one that sparked it for me.
That's awesome. And the Willard's awesome too.
Yeah. But then later on, like buying my first watch, it was probably the Panerai.
Which Panerai do you have?
The Quad 01.
Oh, all right.
I have the Pam Quad 01.
Okay.
It's worse for wear. I bought it in 2000.
Oh, wow. So you've had it for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't have the means. I was, just a broke 20-year-old dropout of community college guy with a lot of credit. Made it work.
We've all been there.
Yeah. I made it through it. It took years. So a lot of people talk about not being able to get, unattainable watches like that. You totally can. You just have to disregard your credit.
Yeah, that's what student loans are for.
It's attainable.
Yeah.
Just go into debt. It's no.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll learn. You'll trade your way out with better credit.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I've gone into debt for a watch, so it's
me too. No,
not the smartest thing I've ever done. I don't do it anymore, and I won't do it again. But
I don't do it anymore either. But yeah, that was how I got my feet wet into the true enjoying and collecting on my own, not just getting to wear my dad's.
Yeah. Panerai was my first. Also, that was my really I mean, I was into watches before that, but then I think that it really accelerated when I got into Panerai. So,
did you have the means when you dipped your feet into it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. I was a waiter. I was a waiter. I was working in restaurants, and I was a chef. I was a waiter. I did not have the money to buy it, but
yeah, me neither.
That's how I. So. Oh, wrist check, guys! I didn't do a wrist check with you two. We did a wrist check, me and Matt. So can we do a really quick wrist check before we jump to the next?
Yeah, absolutely.
Got a Nakin Renegade.
Nakin. NTH.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hamilton Aviation 42.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really nice underrated watch.
Beautiful. All right, so that's the one. And then the fun question. Who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, man. There's been so many throughout the years. I mean, 1999.
Yeah.
Selma Hayek, probably. I was Sandra Bullock for a while, but she looks a little too much like Michael Jackson now.
Yeah.
I'll say Zoe Deschanel, maybe.
Very good choice. Very good choice. Yes.
Next door, pretty hot.
Yes. I like that very much. Very good choice. And she is Zoe Deschanel. Is she playing? I forgot. I thought I just saw a movie trailer with her in it.
Oh man, I haven't seen her since the New Girl. If she's like she is in the New Girl, then yeah, she's totally my crush.
What is your Grail watch?
Oh man, that's kind of tricky because I don't really. I have a different interpretation of what a Grail would be. Like a Grail would be to me like a watch that I would be kind of lusty for, but realizing it's never really going to be that attainable. I've got a lot of like kind of lofty ideas that I'll be able to attain in the next year or two. So, I mean, I've got like 4 that are on my high priority, but I don't really have a grail. There's no way I'd ever spend, over 10K on a watch again. I mean, no way. I'd like to say Doxa Marine Master 300. Those are my two next purchase. Two next hot on the radar. I wouldn't call them grails, but
Okay.
yeah, they're on that. I guess in grail, honestly, Matt's Bluesy. That's always been the Rollie I've wanted. For sure. Straight up, dude. That thing is awesome.
It's nice.
Yeah. Nothing says baller like a Bluesy.
Well, I didn't want to go with everybody like Chris talks about. Everybody's got the black Submariner, regardless of what reference. Black.
Right.
And I thought black Submariners were cool, but I'm like, I want it to pop, man. So this one, that one always drew, that's.
And really, I try not to have a grail because, I mean, no matter what you put on me, it's going to look like I'm wearing a rep. I don't look like the kind of guy that's, I mean, really. Most of the time, 90% of the time I see a Rolex, I'm not believing it's an authentic Rolex,
You see, the thing is that
there's just not enough real ones out there.
Yeah, I work in New York City, so I think that the problem is that for me with Rolex, and I love Rolex, and don't get me wrong, like it's just for me, it's that every single person I see in New York City, not every single person, I'm exaggerating, but a lot of people walking around have the Rolex Submariner on in black dial, black bezel. You see some people who have a little bit of a different variation of the, they'll have the Kermit, they'll have the whatever it is. You don't see things like people don't buy the Milgauss, but now they do, obviously, because there's nothing else that's available and people are starting to buy them. I think the Milgauss is probably my favorite Rolex. And then like his Matt's Bluesy. I mean, that's like something that is different and it's pretty incredible looking, and they're I think a lot of people go for the run of the mill, and it's just the standard watch. Again, it's a great watch. It's not like I can't knock it. I would love to own one. I just wouldn't pay overpriced for it. But
I've got a 5-digit mid 2000s, no date, and I don't know. It doesn't feel like what it should feel to me. Like, I mean, I respect it, but I don't. It's not really my cup of tea. I feel weird breaking it, wearing it. Not that I'm rough with anything, but it'd almost be a cardinal sin to me if I were to destroy anything like that.
Destroying it like that.
Yeah.
I think they're cool, but they're just it's just a lot. It's tough to pay overprice for something like that. I don't know, but
anymore.
What is your current favorite watch in your collection?
Let's say I don't know. It's going to be kind of a weird one, and I don't really know why, but this Oris Morgan.
I've heard of these.
They
I've
were
never
made,
actually had one on the channel.
like 7 years discontinued now. I learned about it like maybe a month ago. I learned about it the day I bought it, and then when I got it home, I was like, wow, this is it's thick and chunky. Oh, where's my camera? It's got that Helson kind of feel to it, and a backwards 30. That drives me nuts. But, I don't know. It's it shouldn't wear right on me. It's bigger in all dimensions than I prefer, but just something about it. But I don't know. It's like a 5-way tie. I don't really have a. Yeah, I've got a favorite like quarter of the box, but I don't have a favorite watch.
Yeah,
it's too tough.
It's tough to choose a favorite. It's like choosing your favorite child, but
I think
what was that?
Is that I can pick a favorite?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. Right now, I have a favorite, but because I have two young kids
on camera.
But yeah, I agree. Next question. What is your least favorite watch? Does not have to be in your collection. It could be
I'm not. I don't want to be generic and say Invicta, but I'm not a fan. I don't hold anything against them. They're not. They're me. I probably have a least favorite in my. Oh, yeah. Looking right here. Let me say. Final answer.
Orient?
Yeah. I'd say
Which
the
one is that?
majority. This is a Mako 2.
Interesting. I hear a lot of positive things about the Orient
Orient
Mako.
fans love those.
I
Yeah.
think I sometimes try to be a hipster when it comes to watches. A lot of people start liking them, and I'm like, all right, time for me to back it.
Right.
Like Zellos, I love Zellos, but the water's getting a little too crowded, and now I'm kind of find a different pool to wade in or something, you know.
Got it. No, that's a good answer. I like that.
It gets crowded.
Interesting.
Oh,
So this might be a harder question then. I don't know.
Right.
I think this is pretty easy. I'm going to take an unconventional method. I don't have any pastor in me at all. I could take a real sinful route on it and be okay with it. I'd say this is like a twofer for me. This is a two birds, one stone. I'd like to think that things would go hopefully well enough that I could talk her into buying me the girl.
Very
Good
confident.
answer.
I like that.
Good
Yeah, it's
answer.
not confident. That's just hoping. This is wishful.
That's good. That's good.
You don't know
That's
if you
very
want to try.
Mhm.
Excellent.
That's what I say.
That's a really good answer. All right, so I'll move on to the next one. This one's pretty easy, I think.
Ooh, man. Probably the nicest thing I could find. Just to keep them in the, keep them pretty close, because
Keep your
an angry enemy is a dangerous enemy. You want to,
Mhm.
I don't know, keep them in your good graces. I think maybe.
okay. I like the logic behind that. Keep your
Yeah.
enemies, keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. I like it. And the next to last question: Mary F. Gill, Hublot, Movement, or Movado? I don't know if you have any of those in your collection, but
I don't. Are you guys rated R, or do I have to say F?
you could say whatever you want. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, I'll keep it PG for the kids. I'm gonna marry Movement because it's gonna be loyal, stay home, not get dirty, get too carried away.
Wants it.
Probably gonna bang Movado because Movado's got that sexy diamond on the 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Not kill Hublot. I don't really think there's any other choice.
Awesome. And then last question: what car do you drive?
Oh man, I'm a baller. I drive a 2000 Subaru Outback.
Nice.
It's the legacy, not the Impreza. Yeah, but it's the legacy.
Very cool. What are you drinking, by the way?
Little Joe IPA.
Nice. I'm drinking coffee.
No, that's what I was drinking, and I was getting too jittery. I was like, I better have a beer.
I have a R2D2 mug.
Oh,
So, all right, guys. Diet Snapple. I've seen you drinking the entire time. It does not look like iced tea.
Single malt.
Single malt. There we go. I had some Jack Daniels here. I don't often drink. I drink very, very sparingly. I was going to drink something and then I forgot to pour it, so I didn't drink anything. So I'm a jackass. But
I'm just
I started with that when we did the game show, and now it's just a tradition. By the end of it, I'm feeling pretty good.
So, very quickly, I want to pass it to the audience. If you guys have questions for these guys, questions for Matt, questions for myself, go ahead and ask them, and we'll have them answer. If not, then we will wrap up things and we will call it a show. So, if you do have any questions, please ask in the chat.
Josh is in here, man. What's up, Josh?
Town.
Yes.
Chaz from the Berg, you get to keep the Grail. So that was why it became a pretty easy question for me, because I could come up with a really cool watch in something very rare. And like I said, 15 minutes, it's not going to really change my.
Probably should have thought about that. It wasn't going to be the greatest minute and a half for her either.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Minute and a half. Well, that's.
Yeah, that ain't gonna.
I have a question for Half Past Blog. Who are you? And that is Half Past Blog asking that question.
I just think anybody else out there is asking that question.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Town Watch? Town Watch is here.
Planning your next purchase. I don't have anything on the radar. You guys have anything that just absolutely? Oh well, I guess I already purchased it. I got the Traska Free Diver with the mint green dial coming in. Pre-ordered that, but
Well, I have an addendum to my favorite watch.
Oh,
go ahead.
Let's hear it.
It's always the one that's in the mail. It's always the one inbound.
Yes.
You don't have yet. The
That's right.
anticipation's so strong. I had a Heuer Shark diver that was supposed to be here today, but weather pending.
Yep.
Probably Monday. So I'm going to say that's my favorite because I haven't touched it yet.
I'm looking for a nice
I really want to
dressy
hear what
diver.
you think of that Helson. I'm sorry, good.
I'm looking for a nice dressy diver, and so I'm looking at the Baltic. Tell me how to say it. Aquascape.
Yeah.
Aquascape.
Any feedback on that? Anyone in the comments or you guys?
You did a video on that, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I think
Did you?
You watched.
I probably watched it.
I did a video on both the GMT and I did one on the I think they did like a special edition version of the Aquascape that wasn't the GMT. I love it for a few reasons. Number one, I like the name. I think they came up with a cool name for it. And number one, that's not really has nothing to do with the watch, but I like that they didn't do a Rolex Submariner sort of homage or an Omega homage. They sort of took a lot of the Blancpain 50 Fathoms and put it into a watch. And they were the first to do that really in a tasteful way, I think. And I think they did a really good job. And it's a good size. The movement is I believe they use a Miyota 8
9,000.
series. So it's not the most, but that doesn't bother me. I think it's a cool watch. I think it's a great looking watch too.
Did you handle the GMT, Chris? Did you see it in person?
I have not handled the GMT,
Okay.
no. But I have seen, again, I monitor everything on eBay. I've seen them selling over list price, which doesn't make any sense because they're actually available. But they have been selling over list price on eBay, which is crazy. So,
wow. Two things.
Steve Papa.
One, somebody asked me if I'm keeping my Breitling. Yeah, I'm keeping both my Breitlings. I don't have any plans on selling them. But and also you talked about the Blancpain 50. Is it the 50 Fathoms that has the Blancpain written on the side of the case like Invicta? How do you feel about that? I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. They need to take that off.
No.
They need to take it off. I don't like it. Whether it's Invicta or Blancpain, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I don't know why they do that. It just doesn't make any sense. But I still like the 50 Fathoms. I like the old 50 Fathoms. I like the new 50 Fathoms. I like the 50 Fathoms. Not the Aquascape, the Bapascape, which is the skin diver version. Mm-hmm. So I really like that. Steve Papa is really he has a YouTube channel. Check him out. He's asking what are the biggest challenges starting up a YouTube IG channel. So it's just coming up with content for me. It's always been the challenges, having the time to do it.
Yep.
I have 2 young kids, both under 5 years old. So finding a quiet place to do it is another problem. So that's it.
And lowering your expectations to, it's a grind. It's a grind. You're not good, you're going to think you're going to get 10,000 subscribers in 1 year. Mm-hmm. That's rare, So it's.
I know nobody thinks I'm as cool as I do on Instagram.
Yeah,
but you got to check these guys out. Like I said, Dinner Workingsley. I keep on saying it wrong, but check him out on Instagram. He has tons of cool watches, and obviously Half Past Blog, Instagram, YouTube. Really great channel, and Instagram, tons of posts. So really cool watches, and he has a lot of awesome collaborations that he does. So check out both of their channels. And of course, Rock the Watch. I forget to plug you as well. Rock the Watch. You guys are here on my channel, so you know who I am. But Rock the Watch. Definitely, you guys go subscribe. Awesome channel, and seems to be getting a Rolex every other week. So if you like Rolex, it's something to check out. He gets a lot of cool watches in. Let's see. And Steve Papa, also, just to give him a plug, he just got the PRX from Tissot.
Mm-hmm. That's a quartz one, right?
Yeah, it is a quartz. They're going to be coming out with it in automatic. They have not announced that yet, but they will be, I believe.
I'll wait for that
in a few months. Yeah, I think I'm going to get the quartz, and then I'll eventually get the automatic as well. But pretty cool. The town also agrees. He likes Baltic.
Yep.
Thoughts on the Snowflake and not having them serviced locally? Would you still buy?
100%. I think that thing was cool with the spring drive. Yeah.
It's a cool watch.
Yeah.
Talk about Rolex alternative.
Yeah.
Alton, what do you think of that as a Rolex? What do you think of Grand Seiko as a Rolex alternative?
Absolutely.
Grand Seiko is its own thing. I don't like that whole alternative thing. Grand Seiko has a very strong design language. They know exactly who they want to be. They know what they're doing. Customers appreciate that. It's not an alternative to anything.
But you don't think that I agree with you, and I think that they have their own. It's Japanese. Like, to me, it looks Japanese. It feels Japanese. Mm-hmm. But don't you think they are trying to sort of go after the Rolex market a little bit or a lot?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not as an alternative. Okay, yeah, I guess that's alternative to. I was thinking about I don't really want this. I want an alternative. I guess.
No, I think that they're not even. It's not. I wouldn't even say that they're trying to make an alternative. I use the word, and I agree with you. I think that what they're doing is they're making something that you're going to go and say, I want a Rolex, but there's also Grand Seiko, which is now sort of. They've been climbing the ladder and trying to make a watch that people are saying, should I get a Rolex or a Grand Seiko?
Right.
That's what.
Or
I
both.
Think non-watch people are going to look at a Rolex and go, that's what I want. No question. A watch person is going to show a lot of respect and seriously consider the Grand Seiko because I think your money goes a lot further. Yeah. And I think you're going to find down the road Grand Seiko is going to be in a maybe not the same situation, but a little bit more similar to what Rolex is experiencing now.
Yeah. And that's why when people ask me why is Rolex so popular, it's because people who collect watches love Rolex, like myself, like you guys, but also people who don't collect watches love Rolex because it's the first watch that you think of to buy at a special occasion when you're, if you're a person of means and you're getting married, your wife is going to buy you and you don't know anything about watches, you don't care. She's going to go to the store and the AD, and she's going to say, I'm getting married in, a month. I want to buy my husband a watch for around $10,000. What should I get? The guy behind the counter is going to be like, does he like watches? No, he doesn't really know anything about watches. He's going to be like, over here to the Rolex. If they're in stock now, they're not going to do that. But in the past, that's what would have happened, and they would have pointed you to the Rolex.
Well, and like you and I talked about before, every time there'd be a Wimbledon or something, Rolex. 24 Hours Le Mans, Rolex, racing, polo, everything, Rolex. Non-watch, they write songs about Rolexes. They don't write songs about no Grand Seiko.
No.
But, even my kids know nothing about watches. And my daughter came over. She's like, "Oh, Rolex, you got a Rolex?" Like she knew. She knew.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It's marketing, man.
It is.
I really doubt the guy rapping about his Rolex knows what movement is in it.
No, right.
Let's just put it that way.
No.
And that's okay, right?
Like,
a lot of people have nice cars. They have no idea what engine's in it. They just know it's a red car.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yep. No, I agree. It's something that everybody can really appreciate, but appreciate for different reasons. I mean, it could be whatever the reason is you're appreciating it for, and that's it. I think
your VC is I'd appreciate more than a new Rolly, maybe. But well, don't you have, Chris, an overseas and
so I
you
have
got VCs, don't you?
I have an overseas, but I think that if I walked into a room with my overseas on and someone else was walking,
it's not going to be recognized.
no one would know. And in fact, no one knows. Well, I don't wear it often. I wear it pretty often, but I wear it pretty often, and no one ever comments on that watch. I get more comments on my Omega than I do on. I have an Omega Planet Ocean. I get tons more comments on that than I do my Vacheron.
But see, that's how you know a true watch collector or watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch geek. They'd be like, "Is that a Vacheron?"
It's like that Grand Seiko appreciation.
Yep.
Recognition of WC is more of a you know to know.
Thoughts on San Martin or Martin, or however you call it?
They're pretty good. I got one. I mean, it's all right.
My thought is people should call San Martins, not San Martins. But
tan.
Is it San Martin or San Martin?
I don't know. San Martin.
Have you ever had any experience with them, Levi? Or
I've not. I mean, I've been tempted here and there, but I've got a Heimdaller and a Steel Dive, but I don't really venture into that. Not that I have anything against it. I just they'd never get any wrist time, so I don't really buy them.
Right, got it. Same for you, Alton? Or?
Yeah, pretty much the same.
I completely respect and appreciate them, but yeah, I just
pretty cool. It's a pretty cool watch. About $265, $270. So for that price, I'd probably get something else. But
it's the only thing I've done with a Steel Dive.
Oh,
nice.
I'm not a modder. I just bought some parts and was like, I watched a few YouTube videos. I'm a pro now.
Thanks.
A lot of those AliExpress watches are kind of coming up in price, and they're getting to the place where, I don't know, I can buy a pretty nice Hamilton or Tissot or something like that for this maybe $50-$80 more.
Man, there are YouTube channels ad nauseum just dedicated to those AliExpress and Chinese watches.
Yeah, and I do watch those. They're like a guilty pleasure.
I love them too. Yeah. I'll watch the heck out of them.
I bought five Chinese watches from Pagani Design and San Martin. And I got to say, every single one of them has had some type of issue. So I don't know who's getting all these good watches from these guys. Not only does it take like 2 months for them to come in, which is an issue, but then they range from issues like I had that Pagani Design Daytona homage, and it was that thing was just wrecked. It was a hot mess. To even the San Martin, everything's all right with it except the little diver extension part's broken. And then what are you going to do? Send it back to China to get it fixed for a $60 watch? No.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've been tempted by that Heimdaller Monster recreation because I'm not going to pay whatever they're asking for an old Seiko Monster.
Yeah.
But I always think, am I going to see this in my watch box a year from now? And if the answer is no, I tend not to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
The Heimdaller I got from you, Chris, is pretty killer. It's real nice.
Yeah, that was. It's actually like I think I compared it to my Seiko SBDC 061. By the way, its bezel has no alignment issues. My SBDC 061, which is a $1,100 Seiko, that's what the asking price is. Misaligned bezel.
Par for the course.
Yeah.
It's
frustrating.
Thank you, Seiko.
But I love that watch. I can't I can't explain it, but I've taken that watch and I've pulled up my phone and I've entered it into my sell thing on eBay probably 6 or 7 times, and then I always put it into draft, and then I don't sell it. I just can't do it. I love
Seiko's like that drunk uncle. You love him. You like to go visit him and stuff. And every time I come over here, you're twisted. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody have any thoughts on the sapphire tuna?
Ooh.
I don't know anything about it. To be honest.
Yeah, me either.
No.
I guess we don't have any thoughts on it.
So Seiko is adding sapphire to all their new, like their entry level samurais
Yeah.
and all that. But they're jacking up the prices so much that you could buy a entry level Swiss piece for less money sometimes.
Yes.
You know, with aligned bezels and 5 seconds a day as opposed to 15. And
See, that's where I'm at. If you like the watch, buy the watch, right? But when you say $1,100 for a Seiko with a misaligned bezel, and then I go out and I can get that Frederic Constant High Life for $1,300 on the gray market all day long. I'm not.
And they never have any alignment issues. You know, the same Seiko that I have is now $1,200.
Ooh.
So they're pushing them up. It's a sapphire tuna. There we go.
oh, Islander's doing a monster. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've
Where
got
is that?
two of them. 2 Islanders are great.
I've got a bunch of Islanders. They're pretty good, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
good watches.
Actually, I think I bought mine after seeing your review. Didn't you have like the ISL 09 or 10? I got the opposite one of the one you have, like color inversion.
The which one of us? Me or
Matt, I think I saw it on Matt's channel.
Oh yeah, I got the ISL 10.
Did you get the 10? Okay, yeah, I got the 9, and then I bought like 3 or 4 more after that.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Yeah.
second hand on your pasta?
Yeah, it did. Oh.
So
Yeah.
sorry about that,
Pasta.
Cowboy Swami. You're right. It was pretty self-explanatory which watch you were talking about. None of us got it, but we're almost an hour and a half in, so I think probably it's a good time to wrap it up, guys. I knew we would go a little bit longer here today because it's the first time in our formatting and everything. But guys, thank you for joining us. Obviously, and Levi, Alton, thank you for being our first guests. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Definitely follow these guys on Instagram. We have their names are right up here, Dinner Workingsley, and of course, Half Past Blog on YouTube and Half Past Blog, all one word, on Instagram. And then of course, Rock the Watch. It's rock_the_watch on Instagram and Rock the Watch on YouTube. And then of course, Watch Chris. I'm Watch Chris Blog, all one word, on Instagram if you would like to follow my Instagram. But thank you guys for joining us, and hopefully if you have any feedback about this format, please add a comment below. Tell us what you think of it. This is something that we just wanted to try out and see if it works, and if it does, we will do it again in the future. Bring you guys news, bring you guys some interesting people who obviously like watches and want to talk about watches. So that's the whole point of the show. So anyway, thank you guys for logging on, and we'll see you guys in the next show.
Yep.
It was a blast. Thanks so much, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Been
Take care.
awesome.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
Later.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.